Hello, folks. I greet you. It's another Sunday, so welcome one and all to Journalist Hangout on Sunday. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Now, today on the program, Nigerian army kills more than 50 Boko Haram militants, fights off drone attacks. President Tinubu explains sack of service chiefs, appointment of new military leadership, just as Nigerians seek improvement in security. And later on, we'll share this with you. Governor Bago charges Niger residents to defend themselves, vows never to negotiate or pay ransom to bandits, bans mining activities in 8 local government areas. Well, I'm hanging out with Dotun Oladipo. Dotun, I greet you.
Thank you so much, Citizen Jones.
All right. And we are going to have Babajide Kolade Otitoju, team leader, remotely. He joins us via Zoom. Okay then. So the team is ready. I hope you are. Okay, to our first story. You know, millions of Nigerians are yoking under the hammer of exorbitant rent by unscrupulous landlords. The House of Representatives, the Green Chamber, is strongly pushing to cap annual rent increases at no more than 20%. The idea is to curb arbitrary hikes and therefore protect tenants from exploitation. A motion for the salutary move was moved by the member representing Calabar Municipal Odupani constituency in Cross River State, Honorable Basi Akiba, citing Section 14(2)(b) of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which places the welfare of citizens at the core of government responsibilities. Honorable Akiba says housing is universally recognized as the second most essential human need after food. The current economic hardship in the land gives a vent to the motion. Don't you think so?
Oh, well, it's a good one.
Okay.
But unfortunately, like some other moves by our lawmakers,
okay,
these are not things that are easily implementable. And I'm saying that from experience.
Okay.
And the reality on ground.
Yeah, remember in the Second Republic, the government at the time dealt with the issue of the rent edict and all that.
Yes.
They didn't quite go far?
In the Second Republic,
yeah,
there were a few things that were on ground. That is why you find that a lot of people still refer to those governments that were in power in the Second Republic, especially in the Southwest states.
okay,
That you can't compare what they achieved then with the little funds available to what is being achieved now with the huge funds available. Now, those governments went into massive housing schemes that you could still see dotting virtually everywhere on our landscape now, especially in the Southwest, because I'm going to keep emphasizing that, where you have the numbers.
Now, of course, I cannot forget the Jakande Estate.
Yes, the Jakande Estate.
Spread over Lagos, yeah.
Exactly. So, when at that time those houses were coming up, landlords who increased their rents are doing so at their own detriment because there were alternatives. Now, for instance, in Lagos, where it is said that we have over 22 million residents already, and in the next few years we increase to 30 million. If the government does not double its own housing stock, yes, this government in power in Lagos is doing its bit.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't multiply its own housing stock, there is no way you are going to tell the landlord who has a house that so many people are struggling to take not to increase rent. In fact, some would-be tenants will come to you and say, I won't announce the rent to anybody. Just give me the house. Because it's happening. Number two, sir.
Many residents in Lagos will have not too savory stories to tell regarding rent.
Yes, they don't. They don't. And that's one of the major reasons. Number two is that except the landlord you are talking to has another means of livelihood, then it will be foolhardy talking to such a landlord. For instance, if you say, Mr. Landlord, don't increase rent by more than 20%, and inflation eats up that rent, and those you are trying to service, you can see, maybe they are civil servants who get an increment. You want them to pay you the same rent, and then you go to the market, and these people who have more money are able to buy and live better than you. You won't be looking at them. One other issue there again is, if you say you don't want an increment of more than 20% per annum, for instance, if a landlord decides to go on 20% every year, what happens? So even this must be defined. Is it 20% over a period of 5 years or 2 years? You must be able to put that.
Let's, in the coming days, we'll paint a clearer picture.
Yes, it
but
will.
Now, let us join team leader Babajide Kolade Otitoju. BKO. BKO, I greet you.
I greet you, Citizen Jones.
Yeah.
I greet you, Dotun, and our esteemed viewers.
Okay. BKO, as a tenant yourself, the news we are getting regarding a review of the rent nationally, it must be a salutary one.
Yes, if
We'll get some volume.
we are able to implement it.
Okay.
If we are able to implement it, then it's something that we should jubilate about. But we know from experience that the devil is usually in the implementation. Lagos State has tried to do this since the Fashola years. Since the Fashola years, and they've not succeeded. I appreciate the empathy of the House of Reps members, at least for them to be thinking about this. It shows that they are still connected to our people. It shows that they have pity for our people in spite of the extortionate salaries and allowances that they collect. But this is a very big problem. It's a very big problem. Here in Kaduna, for example, places like Barnawa, Malali, and Gwarimi, these are places where houses, people pay between 2.5 million to 3 million naira for 2-bedroom facility.
Yearly?
In Kaduna.
For a year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, go to Abuja. We are seeing extreme situations in which a landlord moves suddenly from 800,000 to 2.5 million. It's like, oh, he discovered that elsewhere they pay a lot more. And he just decided that, okay, from now on, you are going to be paying 2.5 million. How do you move from 800,000 per annum? It's an unfortunate situation that we find ourselves. We really need to do something by way of consistent investment in housing. Government has to be very intentional. Government has to double its efforts. It may not be possible for us to have the kind of housing intervention that we had during the Jakonde era because the funds are simply not there. But we have to get the private sector involved. Government has to support them, provide land, get the banks to also provide credit so that the housing stock can be increased so that people can find shelter. It's really a tough situation. So it's important that we do our best to promote affordable housing, stabilize the rental market, and ensure equitable access of our people to affordable housing.
Okay.
Especially in the areas where the poor people are migrating to, more and more people are leaving the urban centers, moving to the rural or semi-urban centers because they know that they can't afford housing in those urban centers. And those places are usually very far from their places of work, but they do not have a choice. So if this policy can be instituted and implemented, it will constitute tremendous relief to our people because these landlords are more than Shylock. We are just putting it mildly. They are really taking advantage of our people. You know, they are not even improving those buildings. And for some of them, once they send you notice that they want to refurbish their building, you know that they are going to send you parking. They are going to bring in new people who will be ready to pay whatever they tell them to pay. But long-term tenants usually will find it strange if you move from 800,000, for example, to 2.5 million. Okay. So they usually will give people quick notice. They will send everyone packing because they know those ones will push back. So, but in a competitive market, there are people who tell you whatever it is, I'm ready to pay. Especially people who have been sent packing from another, maybe they had issues with their landlord and they were sent packing. Wherever they can find habitation, they will jump at it. Just to be able to lay their head somewhere and save themselves and their children embarrassment. So I appreciate the House of Reps for coming up with this, but I'm not excited because until I see it implemented and implemented to the level.
Okay. Dr. Can we talk about housing deficit, which BK talked about a while back? You know, the Federal Ministry of Housing, federal government rather, knows there's a housing deficit across the country. If that comes, if government is able to deliver on that, do you see this trend easing up?
Government will be able to deliver on it with adequate planning and full implementation of policies. The Renewed Housing Initiative, the Renewed Hope Housing Initiative is there. And one of the good news the government came up with just last week is the fact that those houses will be sold at the same rate all over the country.
Across the board?
Yes, all over the country. Not that because you're in Lagos, it's going to be this amount, you know, which a lot of people will, clamor for. But then we always say it. The civil servants in Lagos earn the same salary, as talking about federal civil servants now, as those in other parts of the country, no matter how expensive it is. But briefly on what BKO spoke about, it's always a problem even when people, for instance, have to change houses. For instance, if you decide as a landlord, which I know of a case that happened last year, a landlord who has not increased his rent for a 3-bedroom flat in a major part of this city in Lagos, from 500,000 since 2015 until last year, decided he wanted to sell his own house. 500,000. And the next building to him, they were giving it out at 1.5, 1.8 million. So it happens once in a while like that. And the tenants run 3 bedrooms, same 3-bedroom. In fact, in some buildings in that area, 2 bedrooms are going for 1.82 million. But this man says, I'll do 500,000. And then it became a problem to the tenants because the man decided to sell his own house. And he needed there to move. So it's always a problem with this rent thing. Even when you look at it in Lagos, Lagos is trying to say, through the lawmakers, we want landlords to collect monthly rent. And then even some of those in the house themselves, I'm sure they are even thinking about it. Because they own houses. How am I going to collect monthly rent from these tenants? So it's a big issue with housing in Nigeria. Like BKO said, the major thing is the implementation. We need the political will to deal with some of these things, because some of those who are even involved as landlords are big-time politicians who own many houses, several houses in cities across the country. So it is just as well
that this is coming from the Guinea Chamber. Many of them there.
Of course, many of them are landlords too. So they will know.
So they know.
They should know what to do. But
All right.
As landlords themselves, are they willing that that implementation should be done?
Okay, then. Well, Dr. You know, they say there's a marked difference between a good sounding idea and an idea that sounds good. So we wait.
We wait.
Okay, to the next story. The Redeem